One, two, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm here just getting some stuff together really behind the scenes. Let me see something. Okay, we good. What's up, everybody? It is your boy Doggie Diamonds. We doing something in the afternoon. Some of the audience say, man, I wish you would go live earlier. So today, I'm live early. What I did today, I got up, ate today. I went to the gym. I'm back in the gym, trying to get my legs under me, trying to get my strength back. Not trying to be strong or diesel or anything. Just trying to get my heart rate pumping and, just get my strength back. So lightweight, little cardio, just trying to ease back into what was normal prior to me being stricken by that BS. So that's what it is. So I'm also here today. You can see the hat. I love this hat because we talking about hip hop, and one of my favorite subjects to talk about on this channel when we're not talking about what's going on in community, I love to talk about the culture that brings us all together. What is the culture that brings us all together? Black, white, brown, yellow, green, aliens. Hip hop. Hip hop got us all together. Hip hop is what could have us all in the room and have a good time without busting each other head. Sometimes. So I had to come here and speak on this because it is very, 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 very essential and important that we have these talks about hip hop from an unbiased point of view without anybody gargling anybody's caviar. Period. I'm not a caviar gargler. So with me, I'm going to call it down the line how I see it. Of course, many people might agree with my perspectives. Some people might not agree with my perspectives. And that doesn't bother me as long as it's respectful. So many times when it gets disrespectful and it gets personal, that's when I start to blocking people and blacking out. But I'm not blacking out no more. I promise you. I'm just going to block people. So we're talking about hip hop, and this is not a personal attack. So this has nothing to do with the goons. This has nothing to do with anybody's street affiliation. This has nothing to do with how gangster anybody is and who'll slap who. It has nothing to do with that. I'm strictly talking about hip hop, rap, bars. That's it. This is not personal. So nobody could be offended by what I'm saying. And plus, I have an opinion on the culture. Now, I don't know Jim Jones personally. I have interviewed him before. When I was around him, really good vibes. And I like his music. I actually DM'd him before. No, I don't think I DM'd. I think I hit him on Twitter. This is maybe a few years ago. And I told him, yo, get back in the studio. Your sound is needed. Reason why I feel like times where Jim Jones' sound is needed, because he's from the era of the mixtape era, and he's one of the biggest historical groups in hip hop history. So we got our G Unit, we got our D Block, we have our Dipset. That is the New York trifecta of the greatest groups that come out of New York City as far as the mixtape era. I'm not talking about, of course, we got Wu-Tang, we got all these other great groups that come out, but as far as the mixtape era, they held it down for the streets, the DVD era. So we don't really get anything G-Unit. The Locks hold it down, they put out music, but we don't get anything Dipset. We missed Jewels for years. He didn't put out any music for a long time. He was incarcerated. And Cam, we really don't know what's going on with Cam as far as the music. 1 minute he's in, next minute he's out, whatever. Jim Jones has held it down for that crew. And I got a lot of respect for him. That actually, I think that he was very important to the crew, because when they wasn't putting any music, I said, see, this is the problem too in the chat room. Sometimes that's why I it's not that I don't be wanting to talk to y'all. It's just some people just don't comprehend. But let me continue. He was holding it down. He was putting music out, and his music got better as time went on. You know, Jim Jones has a lot of hit records. When I say hit, records that I like, whether they commercial hits or whatever, but he has records that I like. I can make a 10-song Jim Jones playlist. If anybody is on the songs, maybe. Solo songs, I don't know how many solos it would be, but I can. One of my favorite Jim Jones is it's one that I love. I love G's Up with Max B. I love that record. Why? Because I'm Pete Rock biased, and I know where the sample come from, and just Max B was just so brilliant with them hooks, man. So when I heard G's Up, hold down, but can't swim, she gonna drown. Like it just was just so fire. And I love the video, I love the beat, I love that record. That is my favorite Jim Jones record, is G's Up. Love that song. It's in my gym playlist. I love it, and for multiple reasons. So who would have thought that when we talk about Dipset, Jim Jones will be the one waving the flag? Who would have thought that we would be like, you know, if we go back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we would have never said that Jim Jones would be the most relevant in Dipset. We would have never thought that. So to me, I'm going to be real with you. He's an overachiever. Because we never looked at him as a rapper. When we look at the beginning of Horse and Carriage, he was always riding shotgun with Cam. You know, he was the dude. I remember seeing him. I'm like, yo, who dude with the perm? You know, that wasn't really prevalent in New York. Like, he had his hair out. So, and then he put together, we got to remember, we have to look at it for what it is. He put together with the Bird Gang thing, when it was Max B, Stack Bundles, Mel Matrix, him, No. He put together something nice. And again, for that mixtape circa, feeding the streets music, Jim Jones is a part of that. Is a part of that. He's actually put out more music than Cam. Who would have thought? So to me, like I said, people are going to have their opinion on it. I know Cameron has a great internet following and love. He's just a bubbly personality. Cam is to be loved. Deserve all his accolades and to be loved. But we never thought Jim Jones would be a solo rapper that we was like, Jim Jones? Hold up. Even the Reppin' Time 1 and Still Reppin' Time with Rowdy Rebel. This is what I'm saying. Dope records. But let's get to the point of the video. B.Dot from Rap Radar puts out a list. And like I said before, to me, every year, Elliott Wilson and B.Dot puts out a list that's very triggering to people because of their position, where they're at, or how they're depicted in this culture. So the list that they put out just means something to people. People react. They do it every year. And people react. He put out a list of the top 10 great rappers right now. Jim Jones was on the list. You had the people that you would expect to be on there. You know, a lot of people love Jim Jones. I mean, a lot of people love, J. Cole. You know, the Nas, Hove. You know, the cast of characters that you would think would be on there. But Jim Jones was on there, and he was very low on the list. And he took offense to that, as you should. When you are an artist, you always want to say you're number one. You always want to say you're the best. That's just art. That's just creativity. That's just who you are. But that don't mean you're not delusional. That don't mean you're not delusional, because also on the list, Conway, Benny the Butcher. Now, when I'm thinking bars, I'm not talking about songs. I'm not talking about career. I'm not talking about collaborations, hit records. I'm talking about bars. Conway got bars. He's fairly new to the industry as far as everybody embracing this Griselda thing. They've been around for a minute, but he's fairly new to the industry. But Conway has bars. Like, he can rap, and rap with some of the best of them, and held his own. It's so many bars that I could quote from Conway. My favorite song from Conway is The Cow, him and Westside Gunn. I love that The Cow verse. But he's rapped with people who are considered to be bar heavy, and never got outshined. Never, you was never like, nah, Conway was trash on that. So when you're rapping with Jadakiss, Styles, bar heavy. When you're rapping with Royce the 5'9", bar heavy. When you're rapping with, I said Royce, Jadakiss, Styles. When you're rapping with Prodigy, bar heavy. When you're rapping with Method Man, bar heavy. Like, you like, He give you the feeling of, yo, you heard what he said? Yo, rewind his verse. The Cow, love it. But he's rapped with people who are heavy on the bars. Yes, they might not have the commercial success, besides Method Man. They might not have the commercial appeal to the world, but he's rapping with people with bars. And we never said, nah, he washed Conway. Now, when you do a song with Royce, you possibly could get washed. When you do a song with Lloyd Banks, you possibly could get washed. When you do a song with Prodigy, you possibly could get washed. When you do a song with Styles and Jada, you possibly can get washed as far as the bars. The bars. Now let's deal with Jim Jones. Never and I'm saying this with all due respect, but we gotta be honest. Never in the history of hip hop, the history of his career, have we ever said, rewind that Jim Jones verse, he killed that. I'm talking about the bars. We've never in the history, and Jim Jones has been around for 20 plus years. We never said, rewind that. I mean, Rowdy Rebel on the Still Reppin' time, and Rowdy Rebel wasn't even known for being lyrically dope. Still Reppin' time? That's all Rowdy. Never in the history have we ever said, nah, Jim Jones had the best verse on that. Never. Can he make records? Yes. Can he pick good production? Yes. Do he do Does he have dope production? Does he make good records? Does he have good choruses? All of that. But we have never said he had the best bars ever. Ever. We have never said lyrically, Jim Jones is top anything. Never. Never. So when you say, I write or I'm nicer than them, you're delusional. Are you supposed to feel like that? Yes. You're supposed to feel like that. You're supposed to feel like you're the best. Everybody's supposed to feel like they're the best when they're doing something. But when you say, I'm better than anybody on that list, no, you're not. And then the straw that really breaks the camel's back, we're not too sure if that's even your pen. See, we gotta deal with that. We're not too sure if that's your pen. So when you start saying you rap better than people, we're not sure if that's your pen. The verdict is still out on if that's your pen. Because we've been hearing stuff for a very long time. So if it's not your pen, you can't say you better than anybody. We know that's Conway's pen. So, again, when we talking about rap, not career, not impact. Because when these Griselda boys and the Upstate boys, the Rochester boys, the Syracuse boys, the Buffalo boys, when they came into this game and was really putting it down on that boom bap hip hop that was missing from New York cities, in New York City, dudes in New York was trying to make club music. They was trying to make trap drill music. And while we at it, I'm just be real with you. Pop Champagne. Yo, I hate that record. Yo, you know how you have music that you got music you don't like, you don't listen to? Then you got music that you just completely downright hate. Pop Champagne? Yo, I hate that song. Oh, man. I hate that song. That song is I just hate that song. Can we just strike that from the record? I can tell you why I didn't like it. I wasn't really a fan of the auto-tune on it. I felt it was off. Like something was off as far as like where it was falling. And I just hate when I hear forced club music. I hate forced club music. So when we think about your bars and on certain songs and we hear like Trony Trone and Couple of Waters, it's like, no. Now when we see these freestyles from Conway and he's rapping, go look at the Static Selector freestyle from Conway. Go look at that. Go listen to that. And this is what I'm saying. Freestyles, that's when we hear them bars. I'm not talking about records. This dude is rhyming with a disability that then never hindered that pen. I don't like Pop Champagne. I don't like the beat. I don't like that breakdown. I hate that Trony Trone in a couple of waters. I just don't like that song. The song was just, I want to see you dance, see you dance. I want to see. I'm like, yo, they don't know how to nudge the lyrics over a little bit. It's off. It's off. But when it comes to bars, Conway deserves all the accolades and praise that he's getting right now. Because when New York was searching for their sound, and when they were jacking other regions' sounds, whether it was West Coast, whether it was Atlanta, whether it was Chicago, them boys came in the game with what we love to be New York. Whether we heard their sound from RZA, Eric Sermon, Mobb Deep, Rock Marciano, it still was New York. They never imitated any other region. The influences were other New Yorkers. Rock Marciano, the RZA, Eric Sermon, Ray and Ghost. That were their influences. Kool G Rap. And we gotta respect that. So when they was trying to make club music, and they were trying to do Atlanta music, and they were trying to do drill, and when they were trying to do West Coast sound and stuff with DJ Mustard and whoever the hot producer was, they kept it in the town. They kept it in the town and won with music from the town. You're not supposed to be winning with RZA sound and beats in 2021. Because that's not industry standard. Even though we know RZA's fire. We know Rock Marciano is fire. We know Eric Sermon is fire. We know Ray and Ghost is fire. But they kept their sound. 38 Special, they kept their sound. And they used the sound of the town of the hip-hop mecca and won with it. To where you start seeing dudes that been in the game forever under Benny posts like, yeah, bro. I'm like, huh? How long you been in the game? You were supposed to have put him on. You were supposed to have put him on. Y'all was supposed to deal with them boys and embrace them boys years ago, but y'all didn't. Because y'all didn't think it was gonna win. Y'all still was troning a couple of waters in the club and all that shit. That's my first curse. Y'all was still doing that. And when they came through with that boom bat, them hard drums, and was rapping bars. Wasn't about a hit record, it was about bars. Bars. And they came with them bars. And then when the big man upstairs in the industry, who everybody goggles his caviar, when Jay-Z stood next to them, when Jay-Z stood next to them and took a picture with them boys, that's when the gargling started. It wasn't even when they signed to Shady. It's when they stood next to Jay-Z. When Jay-Z was in a picture with them. That's when the gargling started. Because everybody starts thinking, they were Hove. So if I embraced them, maybe I could get close to Hove. This is not an opinion. Those are the facts. Then they became industry standard. but they been nice. Hitler wear Hermes. How many? Homie got mad. Man, Hitler wear Hermes. Who do you know could come in the industry ruled and run by small hats and have a title called Hitler Wears Hermes and have the image of Hitler on his album cover and still be embraced and win in this game? Who you know can do that and stand on his ground and say, I'm coming out with this. And I'm up to part 5 in this. Off of bars. Because when you really think about the music that they pick, the music it's not, you can't really dance to it. All you can really do, smoke, put on the meanest face, and bop your head with the illest bop you ever could come up with today music. I don't care how you bop. When them beats come on, they knocking. They never tried to party with y'all. It was about the bars. It was about the bars. So when we talking about bars, again, I'm not talking about career. I'm not talking about hit records. I'm not talking about cultural impact because of the way you dress. And I ain't talking about none of that. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Listen to Conway rhyming to New York State of Mind beat. He went at the battle rappers. He said their names. Dudes who battle people for a living. He went at them. So when we talking about bars, I'm not talking, forget the career, forget the dress, forget the TV show, forget all of that. We talking about that pen, or when people, because I love when people say, I don't even write. Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should. You ever look at a word that you wrote down? Because now when you type, the red line appears under it, and it'll tell you misspelled that. But you ever wrote a word and you like, that spelling don't look right. That spelling don't look right. So then you start looking through the dictionary to make sure you spelled it right, or you Google, oh yeah, I did spell it right. For all the brothers out there that love to say, oh, I just write in my head, I don't write nothing down. Maybe you should. Why? So you could read it back to yourself and say, this ain't really that good. It's okay, it fit the beat, it fit the song, it fit the format, but I ain't kill it. Why? Because many of these brothers who go before the mic, pause were applicable, they doing something called swag rap that I particularly don't like. Now, because of Jay-Z, Biggie, the myth of them, because a lot of people say Biggie don't write, he never wrote rhymes down. Bullshit. Because I saw him. So we end that right there. We can end that right there. And just because somebody wrote something down and memorized it, that don't mean they never wrote it down. So let's stop playing with that. Remember, everybody was writing in a two-way at one point. Everybody was writing in a phone, and you can tell because the line always ended on a certain stanza. So you can tell when they was writing in there. But when you write on paper, you write from line to line. And that's when that flow is precise. Because you writing from line to line. You know when that line ends, you got to put that, and it got to fall on that snare. You ain't just going in there, I done smacked them. And his man's never backed him. If they do, I'ma clap them. This is what these dudes is doing. I ain't even no rapper. I wrote rhymes before, but this is what they're doing. And we can hear it. But if you wrote that down, you might look at that and say, nah, that ain't good. Nah, that ain't good. I'm not keeping that. Reading is fundamental. Comprehension is key. But y'all trying to swag rap your way into everything. That's why you don't got no real flow. That's why everything sound the same. Because when you have a flow, you come up with it. And when you writing it, you like, yo, hold on, I gotta have this certain flow. I can't bar that. I can't, you know, listen, I done recorded a lot of people in my life. One thing that I do not like as far as recording people is punching in. I just don't like it. I don't like it. You ask anybody who I've ever recorded, when you mess up, punch me in right there. No, take it from the top. I want that emotion throughout this. If you gotta, listen, if you have to be quiet at a space because the words is not fitting in the stanza a certain way, then just leave a space where you don't say nothing. And we go fill that in later. But all that, you'll punch me in because I don't know about y'all, but I can hear it. Like, oh, he mad punching. You heard how he got louder right there? You heard how I hear that. So at the end of it all, I can tell. And to me, I don't like it. No punching in. What makes a great MC is style, voice, cadence, flow. And cadence and flow could be synonymous to a certain extent. And them bars, whether you got these punchlines, or whether you said something that's a double entendre, triple entendre. What's an entendre? A entendre is something that means 20 different things, or mean a double entendre means 2. It means 2 different things. You know what I'm saying? When Jay-Z says like short sleeves are bare arms. Short sleeves, your arm is bare, meaning that you can see your arm bare. Bare arms is you got the right to carry a gun. So that is a double entendre and a punchline. And people get similes and metaphors twisted. A simile is like. A simile is when you say like. So again, when we talking about bars, y'all right, breath control is very important, but what they did with breath control is they just punch in. That's why when you see them perform live, horrible. They got a hype man. So you got something called a double entendre. That means 2 different things at once. It's all a perspective, how you look at it. Then you got triple entendres that it means 3 different things. Then you got quadruple entendres and entendres where you like, yo, and the perfect example of somebody who raps and could give you mad different entendres and the punchline at the same time is a battle rapper named Rum Nitty. He done said stuff that was like, damn, depending on how you look at that, that mean like 4 different things. But what happened now is dudes is going in there that wasn't rappers, that really can't rap, and they're swag rappers. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, if you are a swag rapper, you are capable of making a hit record. Why? Because the record is being constructed. You're going to listen back. But how long was that session for that one song? Did you go in there and knock it out? Or is this one song took 12 hours to make because of your raps? Why you think 3 verses don't exist no more? It's not because the song is too long. Because you could do 3 12s. That's not long. 3 12s is not a long song. 3 16s is a little long, but you don't hear 3 16s because dudes ain't sitting there swag rapping for 3 verses. And again, when I watch people sit before people in an interview, I see caviar gargling. Got to be truthful with people. If this is opinion based and you gave your opinion and somebody sits before you, you got to be willing to stand on that opinion. And when we talking about hip hop, this culture that we love, these talks, we should never want to be violent with one another. We should never disagree to where it turns into a fight. You got to have your argument in play. You got to be ready to debate. You're supposed to think you're the best rapper. You're supposed to think you're the greatest interviewer. You're supposed to think that. And by the way, me calling myself the interview king, I never called myself that. I got that name from my peers, specifically Sub-Zero. Gave me that. He was like, yo, you like the interview king. And I'm like, I like that because coming from somebody who does interviews, that's a great accolade for you to call me that. So respect and salute for calling me that. But I'm going to use that. But you're supposed to think you're great. But that don't mean you're not delusional. Because when you think you're great, cool. But you have to know in your heart of hearts. And let me tell y'all, let me give y'all the real deal with this. Y'all not getting the notifications. This is what you need to do. When you hit the bell, please hit all notifications because some is going to come to your email and some is going to come to your phone also. So please hit, when you hit the bell, hit all notifications. Personalized, I believe it is. But, and share this and please hit the like. What I like about Jim Jones is that he is a chess player. How is Jim Jones a chess player? Like, because he injects himself in conversations that nobody injects him in but himself. So, once upon a time, 50 Cent and Kanye was having the biggest week in hip-hop history. All eyes on them. This is the first time 2 mainstream artists are going to drop on the same day. They're going to drop on the same day. They're going head to head.
Pause.
To where 50 Cent said, Kanye better move his date. He know not to play with me. Kanye was like, I'm not moving my date. What? So for hip hop, it was like, yo, they gonna drop on the same date. They're battling to see who is going to sell more records. 50 Cent, the sales master, Kanye West, the producer / rapper, wasn't really a big selling guy, but his impact was big. This is Rockefeller. So the whole world is tuned in, and it was a great time in hip hop. I'm not saying that's the first time that happened. It was the first time, John Doe. I'm not saying it's the first time that happened. If I said that, my bad. What I mean is that this is the first time that it was marketed. Of course, people dropped on the same date when the Blueprint dropped Mad Album, but this is the first time it was marketed with 2 different people from 2 different record labels came together and said, this could help both of us. This is the day that we're going to everybody's going to go to the store and purchase you or me or both. This helps both of us. This is marketing. The biggest week in hip hop. Who injected theyself in that? Jim Jones. We wasn't talking about Jim Jones' album is coming out. We wasn't talking about that. What did he do? And this is, again, we have to respect the person who's going to inject himself in the conversation. That's why we're doing this live. That's why we got almost 700 people in the room and why we almost at 5,000 playbacks and we only been here for 41 minutes. What did Jim Jones do to make an impact on the culture and inject himself in the conversation? He came out on Rap City with 50 Cent. During the height of the 50 beefing with Cam, he's going at it with with Kanye, and Jim Jones walked out. And we like, what is going on? That door opened and 50 said, ha ha! Yo, what just happened? What just happened? He injected himself in the conversation because he had an album coming out also. So he was like, hey, look, y'all. You get him. You get him. But hey, grab mine too while you at it. Hey, if I could get a percentage of the people that might buy him and his, grab mine too. With smart marketing. But he injected himself in that. And it was smart. Of course, it didn't really, turn into these big sales, but he put himself in the conversation. Just like when Jay-Z said, arguing about who's the greatest MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. I love Jay-Z for being from Brooklyn. But he wasn't in that conversation, but he injected himself in the conversation. And sometimes you change the narrative when you do stuff like that. So again, Jim Jones has had many careers. He knows marketing. He knows promotion. He's also signed some people. He's also played executive role in a lot of situations. He was directing videos at one point. Again, he's good to me for this culture of music. I ain't talking about nothing personal. Nothing personal. For music, he's added on. Never say he took away from the music. He's added on. But when this list comes out, and you are the one to say, hey, I'm better than everybody, you're delusional. But look, again, it started conversation where we're talking about him. Because see, this is what y'all have to understand. When conversations are started, right? Good, bad, and indifferent, you in the conversation. So even though I'm saying he's delusional, which I don't know nobody who disagrees with me, we're still talking about him. His name is still in the algorithm. His picture is still going to go into these algorithms. So it's a win for him. That's why I can talk about somebody and not be disrespectful. What a person misinterprets as disrespect is something different. But I'm talking about rap. Again, I never said anything about him personally, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of his beefs. It don't matter to me. We talking about this. And when we talk about this, we all got a say in it. And we don't have to have the loudest voice. We don't have to disrespect each other either. But the fact that we're talking about this right here, is the most powerful thing that we could talk about. The most powerful thing we could talk about is this. This done fed so many of us. This done brought us in rooms. This done introduced us to people. This done created soundtracks of our lives. This done made us cry, done made us laugh, done made us party. We done got drunk to it. We done got action to it. This is the most important conversation we could ever have. Nothing else matters but this. When I was on Drink Champs, what did I say? When we gonna start talking about the music again? That's why when I interview people, I always ask them about their music. Yeah, you could air out your differences, your beefs, your grievances, whatever. That's cool. Let's talk about this. Whether you're active or inactive and had an impact, what about this? So as you watch these channels, and when you watch other people doing what they're doing, are you a hip-hop channel? Are you a gossip channel? Are you a beef channel? Because when you call yourself a hip-hop channel, why we don't hear nothing about this? Even if it's a hip-hop debate that you don't like the Mount Rushmore, who's the great, even if you don't like that, this is still what we need to be talking about. This has become a universal language. And let me tell y'all something, people. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm going to need y'all help with this. Y'all are very, see, what I like to say to the audience, something me and Corinne Blizz Johnson was talking about today. Yo, y'all are so important. I don't think y'all know how important y'all are. Y'all don't even know the power you have. Why? Because you think as an individual, but when you think as a collective, if I got to get out and push the car, I might be in trouble. But if I got to push the car, and you come help me push the car, and you come help me push the car, and I'm steering, and 3-4 people is pushing the car, that car gonna move. When we dealing with this is not an individual thing. This is us. This is ours. And the problem is, we let them take it. They don't want to give it back. And when they want to give it back, they place certain people in power positions, and then they become the gatekeepers of us, where they can make a list and we say, who the hell said that list is valid? That's not what we think. That's not what we feel. You don't speak for the people. You speak for a demographic. But when it comes to the people, we elect this person. It don't have to be me, Doggie Diamonds. Don't have to be me. This is not about me. But it is people who care about hip-hop and hip-hop culture, and always did. They do not drink caviar. They do not, there is no, they don't wear knee pads. They straight up and down talk about everybody, from the lowest of the low rapper, from the highest rapper, to the underground rapper, to the commercial rapper, to the producers, to the DJs that talk about everything. You name one individual that was not on my channel. From Future to Rome Streets. Look on this channel. And what we about to do, Tracy Wright, you're dead ass wrong. Y'all always talking about Big, Jay-Z, and Nas, but never mentioned Tupac. You just played yourself, because last night's whole show was about Pac. See, this is what I'm talking about. Opinions without facts. We just talked about Tupac for like 2 hours last night. Right or wrong, people? For the people who was here last night with us, did we not talk about Tupac for 2 hours? That's what I'm saying. So, Doggie Diamonds, 1,000 subscribers don't count. Oh, I only got 1,000? Anyway, see, this is what I'm saying, people. This is why I have to disconnect from the chat sometimes and shout out everybody who shows love. Shout out to everybody who supports. Shout out to everybody who donates, cash apps, who just go on Twitter, who goes on Instagram. Yo, bro, I love what you do. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who leaves a comment, who leaves a thumbs up. Y'all are very important, because what I want y'all to know is that when we have these conversations about hip hop, and these conversations go viral, and they hit this algorithm different that they're trying to, because they don't want us to talk about this. They don't want us to talk about the culture. They want us to talk about the death culture part of it. They want us to talk about who got shot in Chirac. They want us to talk about who got beef with who's smashing who baby mother. That's what they want us to talk about. But they don't want us to talk about the music. Oh, he gonna talk about himself now. But you ain't gotta worry about it, because I just blocked you. Because this is, last time I talked about this, last time I thought this is my channel. This is called Doggie Diamonds TV. I'm not supposed to talk about myself. Anyway, bye.
Bye, bitch.
So, again, they took the culture from us. They took the culture from us. And it's up to us to fight to get it back. How do you get it back? When you control the narrative, because that's what they do. Again, that's I'm telling y'all. They place people in positions. They place people in positions that they're not gonna go against certain people. They're not gonna question certain people. So they're protected. We like to talk about the culture. We like to talk about what's going on. So what we do, we talk about this rap thing. We can talk about our political stuff, but we talk about this rap thing, this hip hop thing, and we bring it back to whereas the conversation changes to where now they're forced to talk about the culture, because that's what's in. That's what's in. Who's dating who's piping who? How's that hip hop? I don't even be knowing who some of these people are. Why are these dudes women important? Why do I care about who Quavo is dating? And then I be seeing the names of these individuals, and I be like, who the hell is that? Since when? Who somebody is laying the pipe to? When do we care about that? I'm confused. That's hip hop? Shout out to OGBB for the donation. He said Tupac got all his flowers last night. Indeed, Jim Jones and Harry Fraud is dope. Yes, Harry Fraud is my guy too. Also, let me get to, what is it? Vahio Slim. I'm in my 40s, been hearing a lot of positives about Griselda. I'm going to give them a listen, having heard your perspective. Yeah, they're dope. They're dope, but along with a bunch of others. But I've done shows on, and shout out to everybody who talks about the culture. But then again, like I want to say to y'all people, we got to change the conversation. When we change the conversation, then they're going to be forced. They're going to be forced. They're going to be forced to talk about what's going on. And how does this benefit us as a whole? Well, you got brothers that don't want to rap about whipping the pot, whipping the work. You got brothers that are positive. You got brothers that want to talk about their struggle. You got brothers that want to talk about different things. So when you help people like me, in turn, I could turn around and help you, the up and comers, because I'm very big on who got next, man. I'm tired of some of these dudes need to get out the way and let some of these other dudes shine. Seriously. Enough. Let some of these other dudes get their feet wet. Let Sky Zoo get his burn. I'm so happy Ransom is getting his just due after all this time. Love it. Let the Trust move it. Let Planet Asia. Let Hush Kingpin. Let RJ Payne, who rebranded himself from Rain Man, a battle rapper, and is a whole new dude with bars. Let these people get their time. Because if you've been in the game for 25 years, the 90s. The 90s was a long time ago. The 90s was 22 years ago. So if you've been in the game since 90 anything, see, when the light go out, that's when you know it's getting hot in here. If you've been in the game since 90 anything, you've been in the game for a long time. And when you talking about, I put all this work on the block and all that, stop. You live in a gated community. You go out with security. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about everybody.
If it fit, wear it.
You live in a gated community. Your kids go to private school. You walk around with security. Stop. Switch it up. Stop. You don't got crack on the block. You ain't outside doing stupid shit. You are inciting people to do stupid stuff based off of your mouth and your actions, and then they're left out in the street to battle and go at it while you go home to a gated community. This is just a fact. So, I'm Doggie Diamonds. Thank y'all for joining me at this hour. We've been on here for an hour. And I'm about to get off here, but if y'all can, before you leave, hit the like button. I don't know if y'all watch it from your computer or y'all watch it from your devices, but right on your device, right on the video, whether when I get off or right now, you can hit the like button. You can hit the like button, and you can definitely hit the share button. So share it to your Twitter, share it to your Facebook. Those are very important because of the click-throughs. Twitter is very important. Your Facebook is very important. And actually hit the like button. And even if you even if you are in the chat and you left a comment and you say salute and you agree with any perspective in this video, I need y'all to go back. Go back in and leave a comment. So this is not a Jim Jones hate fest. I don't think I was hating on them. I will say you're delusional when it comes to bars. Again. We got a top list of bar-heavy rappers. Bro. You ain't... It's probably like 50 people we gonna put before you. That's just really being honest. When we talking about records that was impactful, movements that was impactful in hip-hop history, we probably still got 50 people ahead of you. But you're gonna make a list. You're going to make a list. But please don't ever say you're nicer than Conway or Benny or J. Cole or it. And again, we're not sure if that's your pen. The verdict's still out. So with that, I'm Doggie Diamonds. I thank y'all for joining me today. Everybody be safe. Everybody, I thank y'all for joining me today. So, It is what it is. I am out of here. Until next time, you know what I need y'all to do. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'm out of here. Peace. Make sure you click subscribe, youtube.com/DoggieDiamondsTV. Until next time, peace.